All right, this was a defense that I just could not pass up. Look at the state of this. So all of the spawns are all around this north side, up on this hill. Thank you, Iwari. All the way above our defense here. We have a little bit on the edge we can work with, but mostly just a van with a cliff, and that is going to be very tricky. So with all of these trap guides, these are meant to be informational. You know, this is not going to be a perfect guide. I don't know that one for this exists, and we're essentially just going to be figuring it out as we go. And I try to show sort of what the thought process is. I might do a little overbuilding on this one because it's definitely going to be a better safe than sorry situation, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go. And if you guys want any perks for my traps, link down below. Tunnel guide, you know, all of these have a playlist. You guys can check them out, and all of that will be down there as well. So let's kind of, oh man, okay. I think for these down parts, you know, these under parts, I feel like defenders might be really smooth on this map. I don't know if I have any nature obliterators on me. I think I have one of every element, which is really convenient. Defenders are kind of a perfect cop-out. In a way, I feel like, oh, they're kind of lazy, but no, they are super flexible. They will do great in a mission defense like this, and it is, in my opinion, probably the path of least resistance. It means that no matter what tunnels we do, defenders will be there to clean up kind of whatever might get through, and it looks like I have just enough ammo. I usually give them all 300. I've never double checked if that's the perfect amount, but it'd be kind of nice to do the math on like how much ammo they could possibly use if they shot constantly, but I'm not really worried about it. All of these anti-air traps are super convenient. We can put them all in the backside because there are no spawns out there and they can't possibly shift. So they should be pretty good just to clean up from out here. So this whole southwest side, I'm essentially giving that to defenders. I'll give it a wall dart and, you know, have fun, defenders. I'll even incentivize coming this way because of this ramp. So let's see here. We have pretty easy modifiers: death burst, metal corrosion. So metal is fine so long as the baby zombies don't reach it, and that's what I'm going to try and avoid here. So I guess just encourage everything to flow through here. I'm just going to do a bunch of floor freeze facing behind me so that they stumble backwards. This, I don't, God, it's very close. I don't think anything here is going to really stay there. So I'm just going to stumble them back this way and kind of work with it like that. This is not going to be a location where enemies can specifically drop. So I'm just going to put a wall here. And maybe they'll walk down this pathway. I don't necessarily think they will. Again, that's sort of the weird thing about these tunnels. I have never defended a trap position exactly like this, and it makes me... Oh, I gave all my ammo away. I should probably craft a little bit more of that. It might give me back too much, but we'll see. I am going to be a little lazy with this, but, you know, when in very weird terrain, a bunch of wall darts is usually sufficient, and typically, I like to do ceiling electric fields, but there's not a ton to work with here. Let's do this. They're gonna, well, okay. So the enemies could probably walk over this edge anyway. So let's see, which stack is nature? Okay, nature, ceiling electric, and a water zone is gonna be way better than gas, I imagine. And you know what? I'll even put them down here. I'm gonna replace these traps because clearly a propane went off. Whoops, but it happens. And you can't really put ceiling electric too high up because it's just going to create a walking platform for the other enemies. So I'm going to put it out kind of like this and try to tether it. I don't know if out here is going to do anything, but let's do this. Let's just give it a connection. I like to be super extra about making sure that my traps don't get destroyed. I don't want to just blanket it, but there's not really much to do. So I'm just going to thin the crowd. We'll do 3. I don't always say this in my trap guides, but I should mention it more often, that placing in 3s is generally good because I'm running a crit build on this. They have a 33% chance to crit, and unless I got this wildly wrong, I had some pretty smart people in chat when we calculated this, they should have about a 99% chance that at least one of these will crit. It sounds intuitive, but I could be wrong. Either way, there's a good chance it'll crit. And while I could put wall darts out on this side here, I do believe 3 of these is good enough with the amount of wall darts we have going on in here. I don't want to overtrap, but, you know, I'm nervous. It's a weird defense. As for out here, this is going to be significantly less of our overall trap edge. They're just going to despawn, right? Should I even... Oh, shoot. I'm using a vacuum tube bow. I know we all want to see it, right? and then he'll be cleaned up by the defenders. Out here, it gets very tricky. These tunnels, or these holes in the ground, are going to be kind of something to avoid. I'm going to try and de-incentivize, just sort of lightly guide them towards walking in this direction. And I feel so lazy to do it, but just 4 or even, 6 ceiling electric, and then placing a, floor freeze where I can is kind of all I can do. And for this area right here, I'm going to put floor freeze on every single surface. They might break through that. I'm just being safe. This one might be unnecessary, but I'm putting floor freeze on every surface where the enemies might end up walking. That way, the defenders have plenty of time to deal with them. So what you're about to see is exactly what's happening while I scratch my back. They'll walk forward, get frozen. Defenders and ceiling electric field will pick them off. It's not this, you know what? I was gonna say it's not the simplest thing, but it really is. It's a little lazy just to, spam traps, as many like to say. But I think this is gonna be fine. I don't think 3 is necessary. This might be overkill right here, but I think that's honestly fine. And I'm going to place this unnecessarily. I want this to be said before anybody goes off and, claims I'm being overkill. But I do believe these 3 might be unnecessary, so we'll see. But that should be enough. Now, if you wanted to reinforce this tunnel, it'd be... Oops. I'm trying to do that so they don't break. If you wanted to reinforce this, you could easily put wall darts at the backside and whatnot, but I do believe this should be sufficient. And then just to be extra, I want to put tar pits at the end. These don't always end up getting used, but we'll see. Down here, for example, I'm just going to leave it. I think anything that gets through all this can be dealt with, and let's get started. Now, since I'm going to be starting it and we're going to have a second before it warms up, this mission got started like half an hour ago. I've been essentially dealing with dinner plans for a while, so huge thank you to Archer and Mizo and Stellature for being patient with me. We've been hanging out in here for far longer than we should have, so yeah. Alright, walking around the outside, that's kind of expected for lobbers, but as you can see, defenders are doing just fine. Even a smasher is taking some pretty good damage from, look at that, defenders are just super strong. They'll pick off a smasher super easily. Come on. Yeah, I'm glad we are running a constructor. That was unfortunate. Looks like up here is working completely fine. Smasher is spending a lot of time frozen, and I happen to have a totally rocking out active, so we'll just annihilate that. Few enemies are getting along this outside, so here's what I'm going to do. Just to pick away at these, I'm going to do just 1 ceiling electric field. Oh yeah, there's a spawn out here. Oh, I see. I don't think it's a popular enough spawn to really trap. I'll just manually handle this smasher, and hopefully it won't be a problem. Yeah, not too big of a deal. That's kind of a thing I like to reinforce in my videos. Traps only need to do about 90%. What are the 4 players in the lobby doing, if not cleaning up? Death burst is being a problem here, but, it's getting nullified by the defenders. Oh my goodness. Tar pit and hot shot handle that smasher super nice. I'm glad these tar pits are actually getting use after all. Mizo's down here handling that, which is really, really nice. If you ever see that there seems to be a weak side for the tunnels and you're in a public 160s lobby, if possible, and you want to be that teammate, just kind of helping clean that up is something that's very nice. Goes a long way. Lobbers out here are being a problem, but somebody commented a while ago that I don't use my drones. There you go. That'll be my lobber killer for the next 30 seconds. Yeah, frozen smasher plus, yeah, this is a great angle, by the way, because the defenders are kind of shooting down, but if they were on this level right here, they'd be shooting sideways, and I'm giving them obliterators, which has good pierce. That would be really nice for crowd clearing, but that already appears to be essentially what's happening here. They're shooting through enemies, and mine have headshot eliminations cause an explosion, I believe. I can actually double check that. Yeah, so if they hit a headshot, they might just do a little bit of group damage, and that's always really nice. Of course, I am running a vacuum tube mode, so yeah. These back ones are less extra than I expected, which is good to see. I don't like placing traps that are unnecessary, but sometimes I do it just for peace of mind. And yeah, looks like this is working really well. Smashers are getting through, but when do they not? Defenders are handling them really well. Ugh, I'm getting bad angles. Yeah, he's gonna run into the base, but oh my goodness. I think my totally rocking out activated right at a good time. Yep. Smasher, easy to take care of. So what I thought would actually be a very difficult defense has actually been pretty straightforward, because everything is up on this higher level and it's just astonishingly easy to deal with. There aren't that many paths, so while it's kind of an annoying drop-off, it's not nearly as bad to handle as I expected. So the spawns might rotate a little bit. In fact, it looks like it was in our favor. There don't seem to be any spawns down here anymore, which is super nice. My one ceiling electric field might clean up even better. Looks like these same traps are going to be completely fine. Thank you, Godly, for following. And out here looks all the same. Smashers are getting a little bit through here, but 2 smasher waves, you know, back to back like that is going to be pretty uncommon. So I'm kind of just going to go for it. I think we're good to go. Defenders, as I said, very universal. They are so good for cleaning up. I'm waiting for the roar of flingers, which is nice. Doesn't seem like there are any mist monsters. Okay, gotta grab that, and I cannot help myself. Anytime I see a field of enemies like that, vacuum tube bow is just too strong. I'm just gonna get up here next to the defenders. Actually, this could get really noisy if I stay up here. Maybe not. I'm just gonna work on this smasher out here. Oh my. Oh my. Wow, that did a lot of damage. It looks like there are a few more spawns out here, but I think me and Mizo can handle that perfectly fine. Again, if you just have one teammate kind of watching this edge, it's not going to be the most popular spawn point, and it looks like it's going to be handled really well. If you wanted to trap a location like this, I would note that with this natural barrier, everything's going to have to walk through right here. So if I wanted to, like, ceiling electric field right here and here would pretty much handle this entire side, but as it's only a few zombies, I just don't think that's necessary. So I like to show the traps that you guys could place if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Smoke screen mini boss. That's never fun when I'm using a ranged weapon. But we do have a lot of time to deal with him, so I'm going to get my supercharged Ravager. Fun fact of the day, smoke screen mini bosses do get stuck by target, yeah, and don't have any elements. So a physical Ravager here is going to absolutely slay, assuming I actually hit my shots. I wish I had coconuts or something. He's going to charge, so I'm going to get stopped at the tar pit again. That is so convenient. That heavy attack doing 2.3 million is great. Oh, so wonderful. Finally got knocked off the edge, but he's already half health, so. And there we go. Ravager is a higher DPS, by the way, than the Fury, so if you guys are ever looking to pick favorites, the Ravager is what you want. Crit build in this case is better than the triple attack speed because I am not running Luna. I'm running my bow build, so a crit build is going to be the highest damage from the weapon. A triple attack speed is usually recommended just because Luna is providing so much extra damage, but if you're not running Luna, a crit build is exactly what you want. So that took care of that super easily. We did lose our wall, but it's not going to be a problem. The traps and defenders are handling everything else, and yeah, look at all that. Oh, so beautiful. Just hoping that Smasher gets closer to the other enemies so the vacuum tube bow can clean up. It looks like this same tunnel is doing perfectly fine. Normally I show the unnecessary traps, but in this defense, there didn't really seem to be many. I can kind of go through and double check. The tar pit over here actually did save us quite a few times. It did end up being helpful with the mini boss. This corner seemed to be relatively untouched, but even this extra row of ceiling electric fields, it was not nearly as overkill as I thought it would be, and I'm really glad to see that. My one extra out here did fire a few times, but those spawns weren't very populated, so I don't think it was necessary, but it helped a little bit. And yeah, the rest of these seem to be doing really, really well, and what I thought would be a tricky defense has ended up going fairly well. Also, by the way, I only placed these to demonstrate where the traps would go, but that's a thing you can do, by the way, is just funneling. You know, if you're not even going to place traps, at least in this case, all of the enemies are going through that one area. That makes the defenders super easy to hit them. My obliterators seem to have broken, but that's okay. I'll craft new ones later on. That's just 3 less inventory spots I get to worry about, which is great. I have more storage now. But yeah, if you guys even don't kill the enemies, just funneling is great. Depending on what kind of weapon you're using, if you're using like a Desa Blaster or something, that can help a lot. And we're getting a great look at what these defenses are like without the defenders. Without the defenders cleaning up, we actually have some fatty zombies getting through. The Smasher probably would have progressed quite a bit if I didn't step in here. And, you know, with drones and teammates, it's just not even a problem. So, yeah, honestly, one of the easier defenses I've ever thrown together in a video, and I expected this one to be super difficult. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys in some way, gives you a little bit more confidence in a mission that a lot of people would have just backed out of. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.